Is that crazy or what? I don't know if it's focusing right, but that's turned to nothing. It's like powder. You can see the aluminum on both ends, but this middle is, I guess, just oxidized and arced enough that it's like it's split wide open. That is wild. But we've got a couple of splice kits. I'm going to cut it back a little further and go ahead and splice it, heat shrink, check it, and then we'll hopefully be back in business. Okay. It's crazy because I bought this wire, and this was like 2 foot of wire, and it cost like $4. The splice kits are $15 a piece. Now I only need 1 strand, and I'm hoping that I never have to do this again, but I am going to keep the rest of this just in case. Got a little antioxidant grease. Since this is underground, that's special. Bad design. You gotta have the set screw basically out to get the wire in. Oh yeah, this is gonna be fun. Ten and 1 is not the best chisel in the world. Let me see if that's good enough. One down. It's been a long time since I've done one of these splices. I'm thinking it would be a better idea to get one size bigger. It would make life a lot easier. There we go. All right, we're good to go. We're gonna fill her in. Let's just make sure none of these rocks get in there for a little bit. Get some nice dirt, soft dirt over it first.
Easy.
Hey, hold on. Actually, hold on. Let's go check. Let's go check. Turn it on and make sure that the wire, we got power first. About forgot the most important part. Making sure it actually works. All right, let's see here. $249 volts. 125. 124. Awesome. Awesome. That is a blessing. Okay, so Where was this one going? I think this was going actually. Turn that off. This one was going here. All right, we back in business. Well, I'm happy that's behind us. I hate running over this because it's packing down my dirt in the garden, but it's kind of a necessary evil on this part. So we left it a little higher. Once it settles, it should be good. We're within the next week, we're going to be hopefully plowing all this up anyways, get these greens out of here and get ready to plant our spring garden. It just so happens the break fell right underneath where our broccoli was, so we couldn't do anything about it until the broccoli was done. So we pulled the broccoli up this week, went ahead and dug down, found the break in the wire, and it took us about 45 minutes to an hour of digging along to finally find, because I'd stick my probes in the wire and from the meter, and it was good up here and bad over there. So we kind of just dug between them and ended up finding that bad spot. So we saved money doing it ourselves, but it's kind of aggravating considering that wire's only 2 or 3 years old, having to dig up and find there was a bad spot in it, but it is what it is. It's all fixed now. Well, it doesn't look like it, but you can start to feel spring coming. Temperatures are warming up. And I think our carrots got knocked back pretty hard with all of the cold that we've had. So I pulled out a lot of the dead stuff, and you can see they're kind of coming back. But I think in the time that it's going to take these to kind of come back, they're not going to perform as well. I think we're going to go ahead and pull them up and then replant. So some of these are going to be usable, some of them may not. That little guy. They didn't do well because the temperatures just got too cold. But it's prime time for growing carrots again, so if we replant, we'll be able to get a better crop. That one's trying to get long. Look at that. That's one of them long 3-foot carrots. Just didn't make it to size. Lots of baby carrots. Oh wow, look at that one. That's pretty wild. Those are nice. It's a good size one. Not a bad haul. There's a mix of sizes in there, and we got 3 different varieties. So these here are from Baker Creek, and they're supposed to grow to 3 feet long. So that's why they're kind of long and spindly, and they didn't make all the way, but they're still fine to use. And then we've got these style here, they're more of a fat stubby. And then, you know, there's another couple variety, 1 or 2 more varieties in there actually, but I'm happy with that. Well, we finally get to try out our vegetable wash station. So these here we're gonna more than likely freeze and just preserve them. So two methods we're gonna use in preserving will be shredding, like on a cheese grater. We'll shred some up. That's good for, you can use them in salads, but for like soups, chicken noodle soup and stuff. And then we'll slice some up for using in meals like stir fries or you know, pot pie or whatever. So I'm not worried about them because a lot of times you don't want them to get wet. These here, it ain't gonna matter because we're gonna cut them up and freeze them. So these are pretty. Look how nice those look. Those look delicious. Once you get all the dirt rinsed off, you can see there's quite a few in there that are decent size. That's awesome. Uh-oh, we just lost one. This here's our next project. We're gonna get the garden broke up and ready to plant. Might even get a little bit planted today. Now every year we gamble when we plant our garden. It's only February and we can have frost all the way up till April. Usually Easter is our cutoff point. So planting early, you run a risk of getting burned with a cold snap and frost. But if you wait until Easter to plant, you won't hardly get anything because the heat gets really intense really fast and the bugs get crazy bad and you can't hardly grow. So the way we've found best is we gamble, we plant early, especially our corn, and by planting it this early we generally don't have much of a problem with the earworms. And even with organic stuff, a lot of times we don't even have to spray anything. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to get this broke up, get our corn planted, some of our potatoes planted, and then we'll work on it over the next week or two, getting other stuff put in. Now, over the past few years, we've planted our corn down here on the far end. We're going to switch that up this year because right here you can see we still have onions growing, and they're not going to be ready for another month or two. So I think we're going to take that section from the onions this way, and we're going to plant our corn here, and then run a short rows. That way it's in a block pattern for pollination. And then from the onions that way, we're going to run our rows long ways. And that'll maximize the space that we have by running longer rows, shorter distance. It makes it a little bit more difficult to water, but we're probably going to use a sprinkler anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But that way we don't disturb our onions. So I'm going to go get the tractor hooked up to the disc real quick, and then we'll get started. very happy with how that plowed up. I took and put a sprinkler on it last night and this morning to kind of wet it in just a little bit. You can see it's a little drier over here, but that really helped, I think, with breaking this ground up, because it was pretty powdery dry. Of course, you can see the areas where we had to dig here for fixing that electric line. It stirred up some of that clay and got it up here, but it's okay. Out here, I tried to keep the topsoil separate and put it back on top, which it looks a lot better. But you can still see there's a little bit of yellow color in there, but we'll get it rebuilt back. We always put the wood chips and the chicken manure in here and the cow manure, and that helps build the soil, and it's already, each year it gets a little bit better. But the good part is we're ready to plant our spring garden. Now when it comes to planting taters, we usually, so I haven't bought our seed potatoes yet, but these were in our pantry and starting to grow, so we save them, we don't throw them away, and we'll use them as seeds. There's 3 ways you can do this. So you can cut all these eyes off into pieces and let them dry and plant them. You can cut them in half, not dry them and plant them, or you can plant the whole tater just like it is. And I've done all 3, and honestly I don't really notice a difference. There's really no advantage to doing either way. So on some of these taters here, they're really big. I'm going to split them so that way I can get more out of them, because there's several eyes on each half. So I'm gonna take them and cut them into 2 pieces, and we'll plant these, and then we'll get some more this coming week. I'll get some. Let's see here. Now, because that one's on the opposite side, I don't want to lose it. I'm actually going to do this one in 3 pieces. Here we go. That ain't many, but it'll get us started. And they were free. Let me slide by here, buddy. So I'm going to show you how far apart to plant these, and then y'all can plant them, okay? But you want to plant them with the eyes facing up.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so like, see how they're like that? So this one would go just like that right there. That one's going to go like that right there. We're going to plant them about 1 foot apart, okay? And you want to be gentle, not knock the eyes off. Okay, because that's what's going to grow. And you'll just do them just like that right there, okay? I'm going to bring those over there. Who wants to help her?
James, no. So like this for?
Yeah.
Yes, that is it. He's not
Okay. Hudson, you want to help her? Putting those in?
Here, James, get me.
Nope, a little far apart. Let's keep them a little closer.
Johnny, make sure everything's outside the string.
So we have quite a few seeds left over from last year. We have 2 different types of bush green beans, and we had peanuts we already planted, and those potatoes. We are planning on adding some pole beans this year and doing them on like cow panels or hog panels and growing them up like on trellis that way. And we're going to try pole beans because I think we like the flavor of the old original pole beans better. The bush beans seem to be tough and stringy. And we've tried Blue Lakes and we've tried Contenders. Contenders seem to be a little better than the Blue Lakes, but my cousin in Kentucky grows a white half runner pole bean, and those things put on a lot of beans and they look amazing. So we're going to try to grow something like that this year. I still have to get corn seed. We do not have any corn seed left. And then with whatever we're going to finish out here, we'll have to get some of that. We already have tomato starts growing from seed. We're going to let them get a little bit bigger before we put them out in the garden. But at least now we'll know what we have left for room and can kind of plan accordingly. It's out of tune. Alrighty, I'm going to work this soil a little bit. Well, that looks good. Oh, there's a carrot. Now I'm not going to replant carrots in this section. I'm going to move our lettuce and stuff into this section. Oh, there's some more. Bunch of them. Wow. Look at all these. They're little, but that one ain't. Mercy. Got some more lettuce I'm going to plant. The other lettuce ended up dying when it got real cold. Sweet. These here are cucumbers. I think we're going to go ahead and pick these cabbages. They got a little bit burned, so we're going to call them done. It's pretty, not bad. I'll sit there. I'll just sit it right like that. And chickens will like this. This one's a little smaller. Sure, it still tastes good though. This one's a small one too. Same thing, starting to get a little rot on that leaf. Sweet. These carrots here I got from the hardware store. They're extremely tiny. So all I do to plant them is just broadcast them over and kind of tap them down. And then we'll thin them out once they sprout. That's it. Got them? Thank you. I'm going to plant a few more of these too. These are the ones from Baker Creek that are supposed to get like 3 feet in length. I'm just going to plant them along this edge over here. Well, we got a lot accomplished today. I'm super happy. Lord willing, next week I'll get all the rest of our seeds and we'll get the rest of it planted, and then we'll just pray that it doesn't come any hard freezes. I know we'll get some more frost, but it's one of those risks I'm willing to take. We can turn sprinklers on and it'll be okay. So thank y'all so much for watching. I hope y'all have a great day. We'll see you next time.